Howdy, howlers. It's me, Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voigt, and welcome to the Tuesday night AuthorTube sleepover, where we write a book while intoxicated. Okay. Here we are.
I'm not like intoxicated. I'm just under the influence.
Just under the influence, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have been vaping on this all day and had part of a brownie and smoked from a pipe and had my second cider.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm surfing on quite a bit of the usual flowers, but the rest of mine's just all migraine meds, pain meds.
Look at this lighting.
Muscle relaxers.
Look at this. Ooh, muscle relaxers. Ooh. Girl, you need to share.
I love my muscle relaxers. That when the doctors made mention about, they're like, we don't want you to get hooked on the muscle relaxers because, because it can happen, and I get it. And I'm like, I don't think the minuscule dose that you are giving me just to take the edge off of, the muscle spasms and tenseness and everything. I was like, that's not going to get me hooked. Trust me, I am still in pain afterwards, but at least I feel marginally better.
Right.
But they're like, you have to take them like, a couple times a day and people can get hooked. And I'm like, not on 4 milligrams, they can't. If they do, they really don't need muscle relaxer.
No. What's no?
No what?
No what? Are my life choices bad ones? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm not saying no. I just say no.
So Heather and I are going to be hanging out together at Necronomicon, Florida at the end of September. I'm doing a couple of panels and it's going to be a fun time.
Cool.
Oh, no muscle relaxers tonight. I cannot have Xanax and also alcohol. So if I have alcohol that night, I couldn't do it with the Lunesta either. With the Lunesta, you would go to sleep and then you would just not wake up.
Yeah. Oh no.
That was a side effect. I was like, damn.
Okay, that's good to know. No, yeah, I haven't. Fortunately, so I'm supposed to take like a whole dose of like my sleeping medicine, my trazodone, at night, but it makes my legs, like I get such restless legs. It's harder for me to fall asleep, even though I stay asleep once I'm there. It's just so hard for me to fall asleep, and it keeps my wife awake. So I was like, I'm gonna stop taking that and just take my muscle relaxer before bed because it makes more sense to me. And I've pretty much been sleeping mostly through the night, so not waking up with like killer pain.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
And then if you wake up, you can get back to sleep. God forbid.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, yeah, I can get back to sleep and it's not an issue. So I'm just grateful for that. So I'm very grateful for my muscle relaxers. If anybody were to ever try and take them away from me, I would have to hunt them down. And hurt them.
I need to say hi to Cool Gamer too. I am curious. I asked earlier, but I didn't get an answer. What happened to Cool Gamer 1?
Oh yeah. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Dish. We need the dish. Spill that tea.
Spill that tea. No muscle relaxers. And Heather can't wait to hang out. And Nikki says hi. Hi.
Hey, Nikki.
Hello.
We're both under the influence, so we're a little bounce around all the place.
We're a little bouncy. We can tell jokes. We can work on storyline. We can just chat about nothing or chat about craft or
Or
whatever.
the other craft, or
Or the other craft.
yeah,
Happy
we have
Lisa.
writing. We have writing
Just,
which craft covered on this right now.
mm. I ran out of pins to sew my dress.
Aw.
I was gonna pin the pattern to the fabric.
Yeah.
And then cut it out and then pin it so it can be sewn, and then but I don't have enough pins to pin the pattern.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I ordered
I'm
another
not
like 100 or whatever.
20,000 that seem to come in every little thing. I went to the tailor the other day to get my wife has this like pullover that she likes that's like really delicate material. She loves it for the summer, but it got a hole in the sleeve, and I was like, I have no idea how to sew that and patch that for you. So
Oh
I
my
took
God.
it into the tailor.
Tell me the joke.
Yeah, we need it.
We need it. We need the joke.
We need the joke.
Please tell me this 3-year-old joke.
Especially a first joke.
Especially a first joke. Oh my God. I'm filling out flashcards with each beat from or for each of my characters. Chapters. Not characters. Chapters.
Chapters.
She made progress. She was the only one like actually making progress on her project, while the rest of us, like we're monkeying around.
Chit-chatting and procrastinating.
I could have an adult beverage, but we don't have any at the moment. Oh.
That is a shame.
Oh, here we go. Why did the chicken cross the playground? To get to the other slide.
That is a Laffy Taffy worthy. He is a little genius. Your nibbling is a little genius.
Adorable.
I'm using that one. The girls at work will enjoy it. I come up with a lot of dad jokes all the time.
A rabbi and a priest are out fishing. After about 6 hours on the lake, neither of them have caught a thing. The priest looks at the rabbi and says, "Oh man, I'm so bored. We should have brought an altar boy along." The rabbit says, "An altar boy? Why?" The priest responds, "So we can fuck him." And the rabbi says, "Out of what?"
Oh. Yeah. Interesting. You think he is, Jennifer, but you're a little biased? I mean, can't imagine. You might be a little biased, I'm usually, I'm usually like told I'm biased all the time.
The
Talking about my
other
niece and nephew.
stream, was it Sunday or was it this morning?
This might be evidence towards the fact that Sako streams a lot.
4 times a week.
I know. Even if I'm not in a chat, I'm at least following along, giving thumbs up and stuff.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
Boo. Why boo? Oh, the joke.
The joke.
Yeah. Get off the stage.
Get the hook. Get the hook.
I think all 3 of my nephews are massively intelligent. Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
I like well-spoken toddlers.
Yeah, my
They make
niece was always
they make
my
me
niece
happy.
was, when she was young, was always like really well spoken. And my nephew, he didn't talk as much, and he hardly talks at all now. But they're grown ups, of course. Um,
This is gonna run out of flavor before it runs out of power.
oh yeah.
That is
Unfortunately, our state got rid of all of the flavored stuff, so it's illegal. Well, I mean,
they keep
some,
trying to do that in Virginia, and Philip Morris won't have it.
well, shoot, no, they won't. But this is Oregon.
Mhm.
Oregon's just like,
Virginia is a big deal. Smoking is a big deal.
oh, I
Holy
know.
shit.
Yeah, I
The
mean, this is
cheapest
Oregon.
here. No shit. It is the cheapest in the country.
I remember.
And then you go to New York where it's like $40 a pack.
So one of the reasons my wife really stopped smoking a few years ago, other than, kind of just in
Fucking save
general,
money. Jesus.
yeah, was that, I mean, and that was Arizona when we were still living there, and we could go
Which
out to
is
the
a
res.
dry state. Which is a
It's a
dry
dry
state.
state, yeah,
Yeah.
but we could go up to the reservation and we could pick up, cigarettes
There
cheap,
you
cheap.
go.
Like,
Yeah,
so
there
it
you go.
was really great. But yeah, but here we're looking at the prices because every so often she'll go out, we'll go out and have a couple drinks, and she'll want a cigarette, so she'll buy herself a pack. And it's like $12 a pack, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm glad you don't smoke these by the carton anymore. She
Yeah.
was a chain smoker.
Yeah. Yeah. All of this are named after the cities in Virginia? No, that is not the case.
No, because there's no Marlboro, Virginia.
Yet,
There-
yes, there
Yeah,
is.
is there? I thought it was not Virginia though. I thought it was like North Carolina or something. I mean, close, but
There is. It's in Frederick County,
oh,
Virginia,
did not
off a
know that.
middle road.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. There's like 3 or 4 cities. I know there's one in Texas. It's like barely a. It's not even a
There's
village.
one in Maryland too, so that's why there's like confusion.
Yeah.
So, I have good news.
What's that?
I have signed up to do EMDR.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been going through for the last year and a half.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
At first it's really intense because you're just getting introduced to, back into the memories and stuff like that, and you're learning how to control each one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good, and if you really like um, aren't resistant to the feelings hitting you from right and left, it can really like awaken a lot of things memories that you didn't really remember that you had that were vague for you always before. I don't know if you have something like that, but most of my memories around my trauma are extremely vague. I remember itty bitty bits and pieces, but not a whole picture of anything. And
I
it
remember a
helps
whole
me
picture.
remember.
Yeah.
Um,
So I hope mine is super effective.
it should be. I mean, most of it is I believe me, I have some whole pictures. I wish those were vague, but
Mm-hmm.
in general, it just works really. I mean, it worked really well for me, but it was really intense for the first. I was going weekly, so it was really intense. I want to say probably the first 2 months once we got past the um, once we got past the introductory, just getting used to the whatever method it is that they use to binaural stimulation for you. Either it's tapping or making you click something or a light or whatever it is they're making you do with your eyes.
So BC is actually breaking it down right now. It is the concept that you use rapid eye movement and binaural beats, basically frequencies, to activate both sides of your brain while you're processing trauma.
And
So
what it's supposed to do, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in and cut off, but what it's supposed to do, and I have found, is that you are essentially like you are walking deliberately into one of your triggers or into something that's not a trigger, but you know is an extremely painful experience. And it's using the emotional side of your brain for that processing while it actually activates the logical side of your brain, saying this is in the past, you are safe. So you have to have something, and every provider is a little different, but you have to have something that does allows you to do rapid eye movement, which is just basically moving your eyes from side to side essentially without moving your head. And then you can have physical stimuli, like it's in your, like my guy has a set of paddles. Well, they're like little stuffed animals. Um, and they've got like vibration, like little inserts that vibrate in them. And so I hold those and they vibrate just back and forth between right, then left, right, then left, right, then left, kind of a thing. And I can cuddle them because they're bears. They're little teddy bears. But
yeah, horrible.
yeah, that's essentially what it is, and it's the rapid eye movement. Something about that puts us in
Binaural, bilateral aura frequency, crazy time.
yeah, it brings you down out of your consciousness a little bit and brings you up, brings your subconscious up a little closer to, so that you're closer to like a dreamlike state where you can control a dream.
I'm super
And
susceptible to hypnosis, so this ought to go really well.
I'm super
But you're
resistant.
right, it might be really intense at first.
It usually is. I mean, dependent on dependent on how triggered you are, or how recent or fresh or untapped processed certain memories are. Because we hit on something the first 6 months I was doing it. We hit on a memory that I had never had before. That it was, once the bits and pieces were filled in, the context of it was completely different. And it was
Oh.
something I thought was a happy childhood memory. And it got
Oh.
linked to from a bad childhood memory, and then that slammed into me. It took one of my very, 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 very few like truly, truly happy childhood moments and just made it a new thing for my, and that it happens sometimes. You do have sometimes little setbacks during EMDR, but you're being monitored. So it's like changing medication or something like that helps control your PTSD. Or you can use EMDR for things more than PTSD, but it's the primary application. That's what it was created.
That's why I want it.
Yeah. That's why
I'm in
that's why
survival
I'm
mode, and I'm tired of being in survival mode.
Me too. I'm so exhausted.
I'm so tired of fighting. And there's no reason to fight anymore.
Yep.
Like, I don't need combat mode. I don't need combat mode.
The thing is everything though ends up just triggering the combat mode, because you're always right there dancing. You're like the boxer that's always like dancing from foot to foot, waiting for the next punch. So that's what happens. Every tiny little thing will trip me up. Used to set me back terribly. But it just piles on and piles on and piles on and piles on, and so. But PTSD, or for PTSD, that's what EMDR was originally designed for veterans returning from service with PTSD from like Iraq, from Vietnam, and then Iraq, Iran, blah blah blah, and all the other places for the last forever. So that's what it was developed for, and it's seemed like really great progress for people with borderline personality disorder, for some folks with bipolar. I mean, a general major depressive disorder, like it shows a lot of promise for a lot of stuff.
Which is my fucking diagnosis, which is what I'm on medication for, is my depression. My super severe depression.
I have people sometimes that they're like, oh, I know that you have, that you suffer from depression. My family does this sometimes. We know you have depression, and that is bad. That they understand it's depression, it's bad. Most of my family has kind of gone through it, and I'm like, there's a difference between, what's going through, because I'm compounded with PTSD that my family doesn't have. So it takes whatever would be probably a more or less, it would still be a depression diagnosis. It wouldn't be a single I'm depressed episode. It would probably still be a depression diagnosis. But I don't think it would be as severe if it wasn't compounded with the PTSD on top of all the other crap, the ADHD and everything else.
You're not talking about it, you're processing it in meditation.
Yeah. You can talk about it. Like if that's something that you need to
talking it through
focus,
helps. Yeah.
Because like with my ADHD, I can, in my own head, meditating, processing things, I can really get off. Like I can bounce around too much from tab to tab, all different, playing different music. So it helps me to kind of talk under my breath a little bit. But sometimes, if you hit on an emotion, if you hit on something that triggers one of emotions, that's your most intense one, which for me right now seems to be rage. Then sometimes, you feel that's the reason we restarted my EMDR. I mean,
was the rage.
Yeah, was the rage. It's a brand new. I've never, with my PTSD, it's always been I become, I bounce into that into the SI, into the unaliving ideation category most often with it. But
yeah,
and that's usually isolation and like despair and things like that. But it's and can fall into self-harm for some people, like things like that. But it was always towards me, always directed at me type of thing. I want to be isolated. I want to be whatever. Bunny.
It's a Bonnie. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but Bonnie,
no.
being Bonnie is going through a process, and I am honored whenever she graces us with her presence. I am honored.
So am I. I spaced out the other day. I had to apologize to poor Bonnie. I spaced out the other day and thought I had not sent her like a message on Messenger or Instagram or whatever for a long time. And then I found something that was super funny, made me smile, and I don't know why. I just immediately thought of her. So I sent it to her, and I think I sent it to you too, and sent it to another thing. But then I forgot it was like an animal that was like given double the bird. And I was like, oh wait, it looks like I'm just flipping her up. And she messaged me back and was like, mad or something? I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. It just made me think you would laugh at it.
I thought you would laugh at it. I'm sorry.
It was a total ADHD moment of, just being time blind to how much time has gone in between talking with somebody. Because, I probably think about everybody that's in the comments right now at least 500 times a day. It's just that it's ADHD speed run of thinking about people. And so I think I talk to people way more than I talk to people. And some people be like, I haven't heard from you in forever. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I just talked to you like.
I am so glad that you popped back up on the server. Like, yes.
Yeah, no, I definitely was not funny. I was just like, I think about, certain people.
Or was it on Sage's? No, no, it was on general and in my server. Yeah. When you and Dante basically went back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Dante's fun. Yeah, I'll pop in, and most of the time I only have a couple of minutes to just kind of keep up with Discord and what's going on before work pulls me away. But
Mhm.
um like I've just had these like gaps where I'm like, hey, I actually feel like I want to talk about what's going on here.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You can relate to that, Heather,
I
about the time
I journal.
blindness.
I journal my stuff. So, I and maybe you guys can see it. I don't know. But um love me like my demons do.
That's so pretty. I can't make out any sayings or anything on the front of it, but I can make out the embossed.
Yeah, it says love me like my demons do.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm using it for my. I started writing witchy divination in it, and then, but that was only like one page 2 years ago. And so I'm starting my EMDR journey in here because I like processing trauma via writing.
Oh yeah, I like processing trauma via writing. That's how I'm actually processing it. Like I'm focusing on it. I'm thinking about it now. Um, I can and like to do sometimes because weirdly for some reason I'm not sure why, but just drawing and or painting my it's the only time my ADHD brain actually like clears out the browsers and I'm only down to like a tab open and it's currently that drawing or that painting, which has never
Hmm.
happened to me. And once I realized that was happening during drawing, I got way more dedicated to learning how to draw better. It's because I was like, I want to draw all the time. Um, but yeah, so plus it's just easy to take a notebook to bed on bad days and and just sketch out, like and
Yeah.
do whatever I want, whether it's just scribble spirals. I love just scribbling spirals, or I'll just black out an entire page, like using like um, hash marks.
She wasn't flicking me off.
Wasn't you? It was just cute. Made me laugh. My family is so used to that where I'll just send them the weirdest things, and most of the time those things tend to be slightly vulgar and or a little crass. 'Cause, yeah,
Yeah.
I got a whole lot of crass sass and definitely some ass. So
Ah, I see.
so yeah, family is they're just used to like weird me just sending them weird off the wall, slightly not unsettling, but slightly like vulgar or crass stuff.
I have
And
missed me so.
they're like, okay, well at least we know she's thinking about us. Right? You have a golden skeleton key. Does it actually go to like the attic or something in your house? Or, oh no, it has a pull on it. Okay, a twist here. Is that a pin?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
Oh, it's cute. I
And
like
it's
that.
very it's very smooth. It's very dark.
Yeah, that's nice.
I got
I
it on Wish. I got like a handful of pens like this and
for like swag and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to order big like a ton of stuff off of Wish for swag for conventions. That was like my favorite thing.
For Splat.
It's not
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same getting it on Temu. It's like
Mm-mm.
not the, I mean, Wish stuff what didn't necessarily have quality all the time, but you could find quality
So
stuff. I
the lottery was contingent on the reviews.
Oh, okay.
for Wish.
That makes sense.
So if you really like the thing, read the reviews and make sure the shipper is who he says he is, and like you will actually get your item. And
Yeah, I didn't.
it will be up to the standards that you have.
Yeah, I didn't usually have too many problems. I usually seem to have found a pretty decent, um, a shipper. It was just, sometimes the quality was just, I was looking for better quality than just what was available in general.
Heather
You
reached
did?
500 subs this evening.
Whoop, whoop,
So
whoop, 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 whoop.
Thursday's stream is going to be about reaching 500 subs.
Mm-hmm. And your journey. And your journey.
You're on your journey. I think the length of videos gets longer that you can upload at 500.
I don't even know how many I have. Well, I can't even remember the last time I checked. Let me go see. Hold on.
I'm at like 540.
No, you're more than that.
No,
I thought you were like
I'm dead serious.
800 last time I checked.
Nope.
Oh, I have to see this now. I have to see it now. No, I'm gonna
540 subscribers.
540. Well, maybe I just got it conflated with the 843 videos. Ms. Thing. 843 videos. I don't know how you do it.
Half of my videos are unlisted or set to private.
Okay.
So I host a bunch of stuff on YouTube.
But not all of it's public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm linking to Substack or I'm linking to Patreon or whatever, like I can show just my viewers these links.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I get it. Yeah, so I'm at 430 at the moment, which is pretty good because I didn't really take, and thank you for everyone that did this, for everyone that is subscribed to me and followers, you Sako included, and everybody, quite a few of you in the chat are, I think actually all of you are, but thank you to all of you because I took a 2-year medical hiatus and y'all pretty much stayed with me. Except for the customary YouTube doing its thing where it just deletes your subscribers for no reason or unsubscribes them for no reason.
I stuck around 500. Like I would lose 5, I would gain 10, I would lose 10, I would gain 5. Like I just I sat at 500 for months, like half the year for no kidding, like so I'm doing SEO classes on growth and SEO and
yeah, I looked into some of that stuff not long ago too because I thought, well, if I'm going to come back, I might as well come back like fully versed or better versed at least. But then
I have a lot of the goodies that YouTube offers at 500 people and 20,000 views, and I have reached the damn, I lost my train of thought. Wifey!
It's because your wife showed up.
Yay. Oh, I just broke something in my back.
You're not supposed to do that.
Hello, my darling. Whose sleeping schedule has been on South African time.
Ooh.
Because of recent events. Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
I don't think I know what happened with wifey.
With Sage.
Oh, no.
Mr. Sage passed away yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. Like, I had
Well,
done spell work to
yeah,
prolong his life and stuff like that, but
yeah.
in the end,
I
it
knew
just...
that. I knew he was getting bad. Was getting pretty bad. Um, she and I don't like sync up very often online just because of the time zone change between her and between Sage and myself is nuts at now that I moved again. But yeah, I
Yeah,
had
everyone should reach out to Sage and say hi and say I love you, and
send your energy
my
and
heart is
support.
with you. Yeah, my condolences, stuff like that. Um, especially this week. This week is going to be
And
very
following up.
hard for them and time following. So, yeah, if you are a member of Sage's server, the Space Hutch on
Mhm.
Discord, yeah, we're gonna keep Hernie Jail rolling so that when they feel ready for normalcy, like they don't come to an empty room,
Yeah.
like, so we'll keep going business as usual, you know.
Yeah. We'll make sure the hutch is, taken care of and
And
everything
hopefully,
is still here when Sage needs it. When ready to come back and be like full time. Which
yeah,
who knows, could be right away, depending on, some of us process far differently, but Sage is such a beautiful tender heart. I don't see her being as hard ass processing like that. I feel like Sage needs cuddles and fluffies and
she needs cookies.
she needs cookies and cuddles and fluffies and bunnies and everything.
Yeah. Or he, I think
They.
they is safe. I think
I know.
I think they are leaning to he,
Oh, leaning towards mask? Okay. Cool.
which is
I
why
still
their SN is
clean
daddy on on
That's true.
Discord.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I think you're right, leaning that way. Or who cares? They can flow back and forth. It's fault. I don't care.
They're in the middle of funeral arrangements and everything is pretty hectic at the moment, so they might not get back straight away, right? But I know they're appreciating the love being sent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Shar, because you and Jace just this morning were on point. Holy shit. So good.
Oh, don't worry, Kat. We'll pick things up a little bit, but the good part is it's all the love. They
It's
gets
all
to
the
see
love.
that we have for them. It's
So
all good. Yeah,
it's
I'll
it's a
claim.
big thunderous boom in AuthorTube, and especially for AuthorTube on the other side of the planet.
Mhm.
So it's a big earth-shattering kaboom. So it deserved just a little bit of... Do I have crumbs in my shirt?
Probably. How's that even a question? I always have crumbs. Like if there is a bra being worn at any given point that can catch everything in it, it will. Otherwise, it usually just kind of slides through. But slides
I'm
on
gonna
down.
I'm gonna grab a piece of pizza. I will be right back.
Okay. Hey, pretty booty. I don't even know if she heard that, but she can feel good. I don't look that good in sweatpants. Oh. Yeah, everyone. We probably should be doing like work on stuff, but since I've been, AWOL for a bit, and since both Sako and I are clearly both inebriated, yeah, not do. Ooh, God, that looks good. I just ate and that looks good.
Mm-hmm. 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 Moon Bunny Creative.
Mm-hmm. And
Moon
then
Bunny
Discord.
Creative is their studio name.
Yeah. And then Discord is the Space Hutch, where that's their channel.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really don't get in there often enough. But to be fair, I don't get into Discord.
Mm.
I'm terrible at it.
I just discovered yesterday that I am an admin there.
At the Hutch?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I looked for my name on the right side and found that my name under admin.
It's like, hey, I love power.
I'm like, oh shit!
Give me the power.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's for me. It's the flip side for Sako. I have my own, and I'm in the flip side more than I ever am in mine. And then Space Hutch, flip side, and then a friend of mine. He's got his vampire empire. Basically, it's all of his campaigns. They're campaigns that all overlap with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's told from different angles and he can stitch all the stories together. It's really cool. If he ever actually finishes the project that he's doing, which is to take all these stories and come out with a point of view series. So every book will be the exact same event, but told from a completely different point of view and perspective. He's been putting this together for like, I don't know, at least 10 years, using all of the Vampire Masquerade stories that he's, ran. And he and some friends actually have ran for the last several years. It's really cool. It's a series concept that I had considered at one point. Is telling basically almost like a locked room scenario or like a Clue type of situation, but each book is the same scenario. It's just it's the same death, same person who died, same person who killed him. Nothing changes. It's just from a completely different point of view. But it is really difficult to one get all your voices like unique enough but still in the same tone and theme to like go for it, and then also just to keep all the everything what everybody knows, like your out of character knowledge all separate, is too much. Was too much for me. Boy, I'm in Coffee Quills' server quite often. I bounce in there a lot, but Coffee Quills is on Twitch. They're on Twitch. They're based in Japan, so somewhere in Japan. They're from the U.S., but I don't know how long ago they moved over there, but some time ago, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, I love the meme. I love the meme and the Space Hutch. All of them are so good. That's where I get a lot of stuff that I send out from like to other people from there. Just like, that was funny. That was funny. That was funny.
Oh, we're supposed to pay.
For what?
We're supposed to pay monies. If cost is a hardship, which it kind of is, please reach out to request an alternative contribution, such as setup, caretaking during the party, or cleanup. Yeah, I gotta pull from some savings.
Yeah, that happens. For me, that happened. Like it happens almost all the time with cons. Like I'm trying to do stuff because I'm always trying to juggle it. And then it was easy when I was back in the Midwest, and it might be easy here. I don't know. I haven't tried the Pacific Northwest, and California areas yet. But in the Midwest, it was pretty easy. It's pretty much 3 hours in any direction from where I lived at the time in Indiana to get to a major city. It was either about 4 hours to Chicago or about 2.5 hours to, or 3 hours to St. Louis and about 2.5 hours or 2 hours down to Louisville. So I could hit a major city. I mean, even Cincinnati and Cleveland were not that far away if I wanted to go there. But then when I moved to Arizona, it became a huge thing. Like, if the con itself wasn't super expensive, which my choices were much bigger cons that I was going to, and then not bigger, but they were the ones that are just more expensive because there's San Diego Comic-Con. It's not that far from me. And
Right.
There's the Tucson Festival of Books, which is actually a big event in Tucson.
Yeah.
Plus, there's LA's Festival of Books. LA is only like 5 hours from Phoenix, so it was like these were reasonable. I thought these are reasonable trips, a little more travel time, but no big deal. But I didn't have friends to like couch surf with. I didn't have I didn't know the cities, so I had to take like lifts everywhere, and do stuff like that. And so it was just like I'm like, man, it got really expensive. So I kind of laid off doing anything that was not just in Phoenix for the longest time. But now that we're up here and my health is starting to get a little okay-ish, most of the time it still has its issues, but then I'm starting to look into everything up here again. But first I got to start meeting some writers up here. Because so far I've met people in the art community, I've met people in the photography community, the biking, the cycling community, whole bunch of other stuff. But like cycling, yeah.
Vikings.
Oh, Vikings.
Vikings cycling.
Viking cycling. There we go. Yes. That would be a fun little short story.
Anyway, thought I'd drop in to say hello before I go back to sleep for a bit before I gotta head to physio session in a few hours. So if I disappear soon, it's because I fell asleep. No problem. No pressure.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
And may you be fully rested come morning. Come waking, whatever time that be.
Thank you, Mama Ward. I appreciate the tips. Who for the stream hopping. The Vikings, a group of bisexual ancient Norse monarchs.
It kind of sounds like it. It's a good one. So that brain's firing right before sleepy time. Subconscious is already on the rise.
Hilarious. That piece of pizza was exactly what I needed.
Oh, yeah? That is good.
Okay, so I have 2 awards that I won at a party.
Yeah.
2 different parties, 2 different awards. So I went to the Superb Owl party, and I won for playing Battle Shots.
Nice. Get it?
Yeah. But check it out. It's got like pearls in the eyes and a
Oh, they
crown.
went. Yeah.
And it's got like this oil slick sort of finish on it, and yeah.
I likes Minty is in the house.
Hi,
In
Mint.
the net.
I made a post in the flip side. If you want to look, can you give me your opinion on the cover? Why, yes.
Of course.
Oh, in self-promo. Okay. Oh, get better displays font.
Ooh, I want to go look. Hey, share. Oh, can we share?
Yes,
Okay.
we can
I'm at the
share.
screen, like we're like on the screen. Because that would be more than just people. That'd be more than just people on the flip side seeing it. So maybe just make sure Kat's ready for
window. Self promo. So this is Katrina's current. It looks like stock photos.
which I'm sure probably is a stock photo, but there are ways to kind of zhuzh it up. I'm not saying I'm great at it, so talk to Sako about it, but I know there are ways to zhuzh it.
I would have zhuzhed up the color scheme, and it says it's a shifter romance novella. So how would I do this better? I would probably redraw it using this as reference, and then make a painting out of it, and then use the painting for the we can do whatever, like, mood color we could possibly do.
Oh, she said it's not stock.
It's not stock. Was it an original piece? Stop sharing. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Boy just went to bed. He's having issues going to sleep lately. Wow, yeah. I'm going to do some journaling while I listen. That sounds good. I was just talking about my new journal for EMDR. So I'm super excited. It's generated pic. Oh, it's AI. Oh. I strongly recommend not doing AI for your images. You can use them for reference, you can use them for inspiration, but you cannot use the actual AI generated image for the.
I mean, it's cool if you're using for reference. You're using them for ideas. I get a lot of idea stuff.
I use it for ideation a lot.
Yeah, or reference of something like to see what a light source would be. If I had one reference picture that has a light source that's coming from a different direction, and I need to incorporate it into an actual, I need the two incorporated together correctly with with all the light sources in the proper places as if they're one seamless picture, I'll use it for that.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to recommend going to Fiverr with your cover.
Yeah.
And being like, can you do a painting based on this photo?
Yeah, like this as a ref. as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find some really good artists on Fiverr that can have amazing turnaround time and do some really great work and are not like expensive.
$5.
Yeah.
They're not
Not
$5, but they're not like super expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can find some good ones because a lot of not that I'm saying that there aren't like seasoned professionals on Fiverr, there are. But like a lot of people build their portfolio being Fiverr, like reduced rates kind of artists that are available.
So she's looking for a cover designer for romance.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Keelan specializes in what though Keelan. I don't know if Keelan is even doing it anymore,
I'm not sure.
or Passmore.
Yeah, so Kat, I know Amazon does say that, you can use generated stock footage, but you do have to credit it, which at least they're doing that, thankfully. It's just so controversial in amongst creatives. I mean, that's writers included, artists, cover artists,
Do not
even
take credit for your AI image.
yeah. But yeah, it's just so controversial that I would just in my knowledge of doing this for a while, um,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't run the risk of using generated imagery, at least total generated imagery. Now there are a lot of
Or
people who
trying to get chat GPT to write prose.
like now you can have it help with prose. Like
Oh no, it writes
I
terribly.
no, you can have it help. I said you can have it help. So you can have it, you can use it decently well for giving you suggestions for smoothing it out based on grammatical rules, not based on you have to give it like set parameters and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Or you can, I use it for like synonyms and antonyms a lot. Like I
I
use
see.
it for yeah, I'll use it for stuff like that. Like if I've got really
Mild self-editing sort of
yeah,
things.
just because it's quicker than me having to go search out stuff on thesaurus and dictionary.com and like I can type in I need every word that means something that I need to say or needs to describe. Um and I need every synonym that goes with it as well. Kind of a thing. And it's good for stuff like that, which is what I think AI should be. It should be an assistive tool, not a total like can do everything. I think that's a restrictive parameter that should have been and should be, um, you know, like restricted at all times. Is it should only be assistive to other people, people using it and doing this stuff. Like it's good to help assist artists with reference materials and with trying to figure out various little techniques and things like that. Like it's good for
No,
stuff
when
like
it comes to prose,
that. So,
it scraped all of AO3 out of its source material.
hmm.
What happened?
Nothing happened. It's just
Just a buff.
she just should be comfier than laying at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Aw, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's so sweet. He's all like, no, she needs to be more comfortable and carry her all the way downstairs and bring her to mama.
No, you stuck.
She's like, fuck, I can't get down.
I don't want to be here.
She's like, I picked the top of the stairs. I got a good view.
Walked right off. Yeah.
I found the weirdest thing. So we have this uh, area rug in our living room. It's just a big square rug, a rectangular rug. And our black cat Gozer, he always sleeps on the two outermost, on one of or the other of the two outermost corners, pointed outward each time. Like he's directly perfectly lined up with the corners of the rug leading out. And I can't figure out if he's doing it for watch cat purposes, because it can't be more comfortable. He's got like 12 beds scattered around him. He's got a couch that's got 8 billion pillows, another chair that's got like 12 pillows in it, a giant fluffy like boucle bench, in our shoe area. He could sleep anywhere he wanted to that would actually be comfortable. Instead, he picks
Aw.
the slightly battered down, I mean, granted, it's a shag rug, but the slightly battered down shag rug, like area rug. And I'm like, it's not that it came from other houses. It's not that everything else came from other houses. This is the only thing that's like practically new here, or was new.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't figure out why. I can pick him up and put him down on blankies and pillows and set him up like the little demigod he is. And
then he'll get up and walk away. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like pissed off. I'm gonna go lay back down on the slightly battered shag carpet, perfectly lined up with the corner of the rug. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it.
Cats are just, we'll never understand cats. I've had them since I was, itty bitty, which that's been a while. So like, I will never understand cats, and I will never try to. Oh, fun fact. I don't know if I filled anybody in on this yet. I learned the other day that the same gene that is in like human redheads is
She won't stay.
Try to stop trying to kill me if I walk down the stairs, please.
Oh, it's not so much a her comfort thing. It's so much a his.
It's his safety thing.
His safety. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, yeah, because those will kill us. But anyway, what I was saying is that the gene that gives like me my red hair and every human their red hair is the exact same gene that makes ginger cats ginger. I also have a cool theory about ginger cats. Since cats can see basically every color that we can in like varying shades and stuff like that, but they cannot see the color orange. So my theory is that ginger cats think that they are just regular tabbies. They don't know they're any different than any other little gray tabby or brown tabby or whatever running around. They probably think they are exactly the same. Thanks. This is what happens when I have a whole lot of migraine meds and flour and sugar and
yeah.
a
So
brand new ADHD medicine.
Kat has used Chat GPT to come up with ideas for what clues my characters could find for my mystery, but not for much else. Yeah. I use it for my podcast to come up with topics.
Yeah, you can come up with topics. I'll come up with like, of course, I have all of this stuff researched and double checked, but I'll have it come up with like the immediate physics of a problem or the immediate whatever is the subject matter expert of a career or a religious path or like whatever it is. I don't know. You know how they say write what you know? Well, sometimes you have to write what you don't know. And granted, that's just a lot of research. That's a ton of research. So if I can use AI to help me along in my research a little bit, granted, again, I still have to research it and make sure it's all correct. But I don't have to spend the time looking it up in the first place and trying to connect all the dots and all of that stuff. So I think, like I said, I think it's great to use as an assistive tool for people, for real people.
So Shar says I've never used it, but I've heard that you can give it certain prompts, and it'll spit out stories that include very niche fandom tropes that are basically written like certain popular ship pairing fics. Yes, and its vocabulary is horrendous. Its grammar, like,
but looking up the grammar rules, it can look up the grammar rules, but it can't seem to
now
use grammar.
the concept that it comes up with, though, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
like I said,
lie.
there are a lot of really good uses for it. But so many people are.
I like randomizing my shit. So, is she leaving again?
I think she's turning circles. So I think she's just getting comfy, is what it looked like. But she might have been ready to bolt. I don't know.
I don't know what she wants. Dwan just got here. We're talking about AI.
And its controversial nature.
But definitely don't use it if you're a lawyer. Yeah. Looking for case sample examples. Someone did that and it generated fake cases. Oh.
Problematic. Yeah, it's a matter of always having to, you have to verify and double check and research your own facts. But if I can, like I said, if I can use it to pull a whole step out of having to compile all that information to begin with, and then all I have to do is verify it.
I have to confirm this. The ginger hair gene also messes with your anesthetic tolerance.
Yep.
And makes you need a heap more than the average brunette.
Yes. So, for some reason, the red hair gene, is a sequence of recessive traits that have to line up, and in those recessive traits, it has something to do with your pain tolerance, and your pain tolerance for a redhead is generally considered almost 2 times what other people's are. So if a normal dose of aspirin or ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever it is, if a normal dose of that for an adult is 2 pills, then usually it's 4 pills for like a redhead to kind of get the same normal pairing. Now that everybody has personal tolerances, they go up or down, whatever, for any reasons. But in general, they've found while studying the gene and while studying the gene itself that they found that. And then to anesthetize this, it takes more to knock us out for some reason. Which I guess it's not a huge discrepancy between how much it takes to knock us out. It just always takes more than the average person.
Flex.
Yeah, I know. It's like okay, so what kills me about it is like, okay, so if it's something to do with being anesthetized, so being anesthetized, yes, is a chemical, but it's a chemical that sets off receptors in your body that tell your body to go to sleep, to shut down, and to turn off pain receptors and things like that. So what would suck about this is that apparently I've got a higher pain tolerance, so I can really, really take a beating, and pain not get the best of me. Pain's not going to get the best of me and knock me out sooner anyway, like most people might pass out during it. Nope, because I got higher pain receptors that make it harder to make me go to sleep.
So, Dwan just popped in. Hello. Write what you know, I feel, is best applied for finding the emotional resonance in your writing rather than things, excuse me, God, that are within your literal life experience. So yeah, that's totally valid use.
Yeah. If I can ask it, details about job professions and things like that, that, if I want my person to become well, let's just say I've never been a cop. I mean, I worked for 911, but I've never actually been a cop. But yet my 2 books, my paranormal mystery books that are out are, she used to be a
About
cop, the main character. Yeah, used to be a cop, and now she's a detective, like a PI, psychic PI. I mean, it's not like I've been either of those. So, but yeah, so I can ask it about like job functions and things that it can think might, help us, might that a person might do if they had that kind of a job. I'll use it for that. And I'm like, that's cool. You can tell me that. I'll tell you what it's like to be overworked and underpaid. Yeah. Like I can give you that emotional resident of the resonance of the overworked, probably underpaid, because while I don't like cops, I can admit a lot of them are very underpaid for for dangers they do have to face for the ones that actually do their jobs.
I don't know what you think you caught.
Oh yeah, caught that. I don't know.
I don't know what you think you caught. Also, I never ask it things I don't know a lot about. Yes.
Yeah.
I
But like
use
I
it
said,
to
again,
outline. I use it to outline and
yeah.
oh,
I'll use it like
putting my thing to sleep.
light.
My light to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll use it. Like I said, I'll use it to give me ideas about things that I don't know a lot about, but I will then go and I just ask it for ideas. Tell me what I should look for if I were going to research something. If I were going to research I don't ask it to like, tell me what it thinks. I ask it to just tell me what I should look for. I make it like it's almost a to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just helps.
Yes, it acts as making it. I have to agree. I have a whole backlist of topics for the podcast, thanks to Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, I have a whole. If I can ever get around to actually recording again, like filming for videos, I have a whole bunch of them that have been topics that have been put together for me. Again, it was a list of things that Chat GPT was like, you could talk about these things and some of these things that are related to those things and adjacent to those things. And it did actually come up with a few things I didn't think about, like being adjacent to some of the topics I wanted to talk about. So that was cool.
Confirmed. Yeah. God damn it.
Yep.
Commercials.
Yeah, the more red that's in your hair, or the more red or tint that's in your hair, the more you usually have a higher pain tolerance or more anesthetic. I have so it looks like Shara was saying that they have to give her a double dose of the strong stuff at the dentist with the extra wait time to kick in. Here's a fun story about that, Shar. So I have to I would have to have a double dose, probably just like you, and the extra wait time for it to kick in and all this stuff, and then be like, but the problem is that, and I'd be fine, probably, but we found out a long time ago that Novocaine and lidocaine and all of the canes, they don't work on me. Not at safe dosages.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so when I go to
I don't have red hair,
dentist, you just might have just a naturally higher pain tolerance and naturally
I have
more
high
resistant.
pain tolerance. Yeah.
So
I'm like, I still hurt. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to do it anyway. Yoink. And I'm like, ah! And they're like, see, that wasn't so bad, was it? And I'm like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. What? Yeah, it's just funny sometimes, like, yeah, because so when I go, they give me what I get to take are a couple of oxys before the dentist and a whole prescription of oxys once I go home, because I am sitting there literally they've got a brace in my mouth to keep my mouth open so I can't close it, because the only thing I'm getting my teeth worked on with is oxy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and so it can get bad.
I'm with a redheaded mom, and it takes a ton of anesthetic for me. Aesthetic. Oh,
Because you
God.
have the recessive sequence of genes that's needed to activate that recessive gene much closer in your genetic makeup, in your chromosomal makeup.
Yeah.
I actually really loved biology and genetics.
Are the
Like
greatest,
growing up.
generally speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so fascinated by like genetic makeup and like uh genetic heredity and like just specifically I was most
No.
interested. Hmm?
Did you know that my knee damage is hereditary?
Probably. Well, I didn't know it, but that doesn't surprise me because
So
a
the
lot
problem
of
is
joint issues.
I lack knee sockets.
Uh,
So my kneecap is just sitting on top of the joint.
you
And
don't have that extra fluid space in there with the cartilage and the fluid, and
I do, but it's real easy to get damaged.
yeah, it's probably just a thinner buffer.
Oh my gosh. So I try to go real easy on my knees. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
because I
I
don't
was
have knee sockets.
Yeah. I was really into genetics as a kid, but I was into genetics for like I was just fascinated with um being able to trace like genetic trauma and its mutations to DNA. Because I mean they've been able to do that going back quite a ways now and find how far back generationally trauma, like physical traumas and mental traumas done to people in the past, can actually alter their DNA, which then goes on to their talk tonight, progeny, and gets passed down as a genetic trait. It's only recently been being studied, like recently within my relatively shortish lifetime. But it's really cool. Like, and I got into that like growing up. Like, it was like my weird little offshoot, not writing related type thing that I was really interested in. Um, so I got into like looking up that, and genetics is just they're wild. They're absolutely wild.
Hmm. I inherited my fucked up kneeness from my dad.
Yeah. The well, pretty much all of my everything except for my like PTSD itself is genetic. Like every medical condition I have, period, is a genetic condition. The only one that's not is my PTSD. Um, and even some of that is not genetic related, but it's familial related. So
Mm.
still ends up becoming a part of the family generations.
Oh
So
man, I am so behind on the fucking chat. Holy shit. Yep, same here. They always have to give me a double dose of the strong stuff at the dentist and wait extra time for it to kick in. Yeah. I've had the dentist stick me 4 times and then go, "Aren't you numb yet?" And I'm like, "Not really." "Yeah, me too."
Mhm.
Yeah, they did a digital block. I put a needle through my finger, right? It happens to the best of us.
Yes.
And fucking they did a digital block with two shots on one side, 2 shots on the other side of Novocaine. And it just felt like I was wearing a big ring, and the tip of my finger was never got numb. And then they tore out the needle, and I hollered.
Nope.
And they were
Nope.
like,
Nope.
"See,
Nope.
that wasn't so bad." And I said, "Fuck you, yeah, it was."
Yeah.
It hurt real bad.
Like, nope, 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 nope.
Double dose always. We're all a bunch of badasses is what this means.
Basically, yeah.
Literally took till I was about 14 for me to have a dentist experience where I was properly numb and wasn't in excruciating pain because no one realized, and I was too young to know it's not supposed to hurt. Yeah.
Well, especially the way people talk about going to the dentist, where they're always like, "It's so terrible to see my teeth hurt so bad when I get them cleaned," and I'm like, "Come on, it's not that bad." Or maybe that's
It's
just
not
my
that
teeth.
bad. Granted,
I
the
just
first time I went to the dentist, I went in my adulthood. Like,
that was
it was a bloody mess.
yeah.
It was
So
a
I had only
bloody mess.
been to the dentist a couple of times as a kid. One was to we had to pull a back molar out because I didn't have enough room for the wisdom teeth that were coming in. But then the wisdom teeth started coming in, and they got infected, and so some of them had to come out. So some of them came out, but not all of them had to come out. But then they realized that there still wasn't enough room in there, and also fun genetic family trait. We have the women in our family have an extra wisdom tooth. Not every woman, but a lot of women in our family have an extra wisdom tooth. We have 5 wisdom teeth, and of course, I had 5 wisdom teeth. I didn't have a large enough jaw that the doctor said. The dentist said I didn't have a large enough jaw as it was for a normal set of teeth, much less extra teeth. Coming in and like all that stuff. So I went like twice before I was an adult, and then I had to go back in a couple of times again, and then of course I've had my teeth cleaned and all that stuff since then, a couple little cavities here and there. But yeah, the first time I went though to the dentist as an adult for like just general routine care, they were like, okay, we gotta do some deep cleanings for a little while, because why didn't anybody ever clean get your teeth cleaned, take you to a dentist? I was like, well, we will po very po. I was like, my mom never had insurance. She never had health insurance. Like, she worked at a hospital and didn't have health insurance. So, welcome to America, especially in the, well, now just as much as in the 80s and 90s and, etc.
Genetics is super fun. So says Dwan.
Don't die over there.
Oh my god, let me just keel over. I've been going to the same dentist since because they know how to dose me up and have it on file to allow extra time and use the strong stuff. Yeah. We just did a mini review of biology in class this week. We mostly studied RNA, but we studied DNA, a little DNA too. We are studying extremophiles this week. What's an extremophile? Oh my gosh. I have curiosity. More water.
You gonna live over there? Oh, I had to look it up. An example of an extremophile. There are 3 examples of extremophiles. Whoa, these are some words I cannot understand. Some type of Picrophilius torridus, a thermocidal, adaptive to hot acidic conditions, an Antarctic krill, which is a psychrophile, and the Pompeii worm, a thermophile.
What?
Yeah. So extremophiles known as psychrophiles are known to survive at low temperatures, different species have come up with different ways to survive these cold temperatures. Some have developed substances such as glycerol or antifreeze proteins, which lower the freezing point of water by several degrees. So basically, they're creatures that are adaptive to cold, apparently extremely adaptive to cold weather. Let's see that what's I love Google. What's the most famous extremophile? The most extreme extremophile that is known at the moment is the Deinonychus Deinonychus radiodurans. It's a microbe that can survive extreme cold, drought, thin air, and acid. It has even been found on the walls inside of nuclear reactors where the radioactivity would be instantly fatal for humans. So they're just insanely adaptable little whatevers they are. Oh, they're okay. Minty came through. They're tardigrades. You know, like from Ant-Man that they see in like the Quantum Realm. They're tardigrades. And we all know what those are now. Compliments
And
of
they can live in
Marvel.
space. They are
Yeah.
cute and live in space.
I did not know that was.
I'm slowly getting through the things. It's gonna happen. Yes. Genetic trauma is totally a thing, and I'm kind of looking forward to accessing the memories thereof. Hey, writing question. How would you write a blurb for a short story collection? I would say, welcome to the circus. We have this concept over here and this concept over there. And most of all, we have this big thing here. And
what's the is it thematic? Are you following a thematic with all the short stories? Like if there's a specific theme, you can hang it off of, you can hang it off of that. But if it's more eclectic, like Sako's saying, that's a great idea. You kind of play the circus ringmaster where you're like, step right up, folks. Over here in this corner, see the amazing girl who can, I don't know what she did in your story, but she did something cool. And you're gonna see over
exactly.
Here,
exactly.
And over here. And then a little later on tonight on the main stage, we have the main event, whatever you think is like the end-all be-all story that you have.
Yeah. When I had my C-section, I had something called a pain ball. They had to turn it all the way up. It was supposed to last for 2 days as I was through it in a few hours. Oh, no.
Yeah. The little pain pumps, pain balls that they give you, those don't ever. Although, I had never had anything stronger as a painkiller. I had never had anything stronger than morphine in my life. But apparently, as I've gotten older, morphine I've become allergic to or irritated by or sensitive to morphine. So now it makes me feel like I'm itching all over, even though I don't have a rash and I don't have hives or anything weird. But so they stopped giving me that. So when I went in to the ER for my, what ended up being an emergency appendectomy last year. Oh yeah. I thought I was just having like, I don't know, horrible like gastrointestinal issues and was like, okay, this has been a while. I've been in a lot of pain for a while. So drove myself to the ER, took a day off, drove myself to the ER and kind of got in there and like I barely got through the ER doors before I was like on the floor. The security guard was like coming over, bringing a wheelchair and picking me up, and put me in it.
Oh,
anyway,
shit.
So it ended up being an emergency appendectomy. But they gave me before it, they gave me painkillers, of course, until they could get me into surgery. They got me stabilized until they could get me into surgery. And they kept giving me morphine, and I was like, all this does is make me itchy, and it doesn't do anything for the pain. I need something. I need something.
I had that problem when I last blew my knee out.
Yeah. So they ended up bringing me, fentanyl. And I was like, I have never had this before, and I am really worried about, and I definitely see how people get addicted to that.
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
I feel
I
that
was
way
like,
about Valium. Oh,
oh, Valium too. Oh my God. Valium and just straight up, I mean, if you've got a relatively high dose of Xanax, Valium and Xanax, those are some nice, they definitely see how they're addictive. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
oh,
Like,
yeah. I try to limit the amount of Xanax I ingest.
yeah, we stopped,
I'm trying
I
to
just have,
get control of my emotions.
yeah, started limiting my, my stuff to just some general Ativan, just some basic stuff to help take the edge off of things when I
Wasn't me,
can't.
it was the Percodan. That stuff rots your brain.
Right, you're right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm kind of fascinated with genetics around like neurological neurodivergency with all that spicy trauma, and it's kind of interesting to be like, oh, so that's where all this fuckery is from. Yeah.
it's so fun. Like, it's really, it's fascinating to me. I like history, like especially familial history, a lot. Like following heritage. Um, I like trying to trace things back. We actually have a number of uh, genealogists in my family, so it's kind of like a weird family thing. But like my bio dad side of the family has been matriarchally has been mapped back like crazy, like almost 1,000 years or something. They mapped the family back that stinking far, and then like the bio dad's patriarchal side of the family is mapped back like a huge amount too. So we know a ton of stuff about, like, so that always fascinated me. So I've had that in my family since I was a kid. So I know that's why it's some of the things that I'm like interested in, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. They are cute. They live in space.
Yeah. I mean, they're that so
That's an
cute.
example.
They're like
Um,
ugly but cute. They're adorably ugly.
oh, okay. Why my teeth are crooked. Uh,
Too
yeah,
small to
my
draw
jaw
yet.
is too small for the size of teeth that I have.
Yep.
So they're like stacked on top of each other.
So I have a friend who she's like Asian descent. She's Japanese
Mm,
and Indian.
yeah,
And
the crooked teeth.
she said she has the same thing, the smaller mouth, not large enough for the amount of teeth and the size of the teeth themselves. And so they
Yeah,
end up being a lot more crooked. And she was saying that that was a trait, I guess, that is fairly common throughout, Asian heritage.
and they mark it as a benefit. They think it's super cute.
That's true.
So women with straight teeth are having their teeth fixed to look all janky.
Think about how many things we go through to have straight teeth in the Western
Yeah,
world. That's why I
exactly.
love the notions of what's beautiful in various cultures and throughout the world and throughout history is
Hmm.
really cool. Like
Oh, hoping to
following not
get
just,
this one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, not just okay, so it's collection of stories about crimes against the disabled. Yeah. And the way they confront their feelings. Awesome. But trust me, it is thank you, not inspiration. Corn. So that is good. Okay. So um kind of what you stated there. That is kind of how I would go into the blurb. If you wanted to go for the more traditional approach, where you would just talk about the theme of each of the stories, and
Give me a
try and
moment.
put it in as prosaic as possible. Try to put it in there as just having zhuzh it up. Don't make it just be like it's about disabled people and zhuzh it. But if you wanted to go for a more untraditional approach, um, one of the short story collections that I was in which was just me and a bunch of friends dicking around. Dude, oh dang, where is that? Dang it. Okay, well, what happened was I don't have one in front of me. The name of the short story collection was Fracas, which is Fracas. So it had the definition of, the dictionary's definition of what fracas is on it. And then it went into explain that it was a series of transgressive short stories, and explained what transgressive fiction was, just a little bit. So it almost gave it like it was a lesson. Like, so I don't know. The way it was written was, it just made it sound like it was a bit of a lesson, but it was a lesson that carried some weight because it had these really cool things, like talking about transgressive fiction, and people that read transgressive fiction understand that that's like generally taboo topics that are explored in each story. So like it's a very niche market, but it worked for that. So I think you could go into it talking a little bit about what, I mean, if you did something like that, like for instance, I would gravitate towards the definition of what disabled is, like versus the societal definition of what disabled is. And then
Oh.
that leads into, I mean, you can try and make it as lighthearted if you want or need to, kind of a thing. I don't know the voice of the series or the tone in general, because
Mhm.
it could get really heavy. But if it doesn't, and you're trying to like show it realistically, but also still not just bum the fuck out of everybody, like kind of a thing, you could go into
They're
it with,
like skeletons.
yeah,
I
they
wish I got
are.
a new set at like 30. Yeah, me too.
But yeah, you
Me too.
could go into it like that, been like, well, the difference between the real definition of disabled versus the societal definition of disabled, the discrepancy in between, and the emotions and feelings that are caused by that every disabled person and those around them have to go through. But again, without reading the stories and just having it's about disabled people and how we deal, I don't know which way we'd lean towards.
Way into genealogy. I got my DNA tested because I'm trying to find my grandma's real parents, and because she was adopted. I have some branches back to the 1400s. That's even farther than me.
Get it?
No. Ours, my mother's family goes back to like 1600, I think.
Cool.
And my SCA persona was a member of my family.
Nice. I like
So,
that.
yeah, I played an
I never thought
ancestor.
about cosplaying my ancestor.
Yeah, I was cosplaying my ancestor.
Yeah. I have a whole stinking hunk of redheaded people I could just decide to cosplay. I mean, there's barely anything else spread amongst us. Couple brunettes, few blondes scattered throughout, and then just red.
Based off my title, I can come up with something really great. Yeah. BC, that's such a good idea. Holy shit.
I'm not sure which one it was such a good idea.
I
must take the praise.
We've kind of been chatting away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this social model of disability versus the medical model is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Per the social right now, per the social model of being disabled or being differently abled, is far more lenient, because we understand now that everybody goes through varying degrees of healing and varying degrees of experiencing their disability. Like, there are people with probably the exact same lab results as me, and all the same disabilities and illnesses and whatever, there's probably statistically there's got to be at least one other person out there like that, or pretty close to being almost me disability, and they could be handling their disabilities much better than I could, or vice versa, much better than I'm handling them, kind of thing. Because it's still dependent on us being unique, kind of a thing. For the most part, we'd be unique in all sorts of different other ways.
Mary
So yeah,
Easter, who was murdered in Salem in 1692.
no, that's bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least there's at least the line went on, but yeah. Yeah, don't have your wisdom teeth taken out all on the same day unless you have to. And don't have them taken out unless you have to. If they're not causing you
They
problems or any
just took
pain.
the top half of mine.
Yeah,
Does
basically
that make
they
sense?
kept
They
the
they made
spacer.
it so that, yeah, they shaved them down to the point where the gums can grow over them.
Yeah. Which sounds incredibly painful, and I'm sure it was at that point.
Not really.
It
I'm
actually
so used to it. I don't know what other way to be.
is true. It's what we get used to. Oh yeah, sorry. Back to what I was talking about. The disability is, but yet the medical definition for disability, because and there's even a third definition that we can do this comparatively with. And so the medical definition is much different than what the societal definition is, as a today's societal definition of, and also dependent upon geography of being disabled, is, which is tends to be much more lenient. The medical one is much more rigid. And if you don't meet certain qualifications, you are not disabled, no matter how you feel. You lean one way or another. And then the third one is the federal or governmental definition of disabled. Because believe me, that one is both rigid and restricted. Because, like, if you are trying, if say you are disabled, or and you are trying to get disability, if that's something that is a benefit or a possibility in your country that you're in, like in the United States, you should absolutely get yourself a disability lawyer before you even think about applying for the disability. Really, like the instant you think you want to apply for disability, you need to get yourself a lawyer so that your medical everything can be combed through, so that everything can be gone through, so they can set you up in the best possible way to actually get your disability approved. Like, and you can get disability approved for multiple reasons, for financial like reimbursement, or you can get it approved for, just like accommodation needs, like scooters, or visual equipment, assistive equipment, stuff like that.
Oh, my closest friend is on U.S. disability.
And it
My
is a
sister
laughable.
is on VA disability. I think she's at like 98%. They won't give her 100% disability.
Disabled.
Yeah. And then they would pay for her entire life. She can't get married or she'll lose it. She can try to be better her life at all, or she'll lose it. And her medical bills without it, oof. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I lost her. My father's family has been in this country since the 1600s. Oh wow, I made it to the bottom. I made it to the bottom.
Was it just me that got kicked off, or because
Yeah, it was just you, my love.
dang, I was having a really good chat about U.S. disability and like what you need and what
Oh,
you need. Yeah.
disability. Um, it's so hard to get. Ask me how I know. Yeah.
Yeah, yourself and especially with your son. I mean,
Hysterectomies
Kyle's
of
great.
uteruses can still carry babies. Not in America. Yeah.
But I know with Kyle, he's a great kid and everything, and he's extremely, independent in areas. But I do know, he needs a lot of help, and you have it, and you're there for him because you're awesome, Mama. But you still need more help than that sometimes.
Uh. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be
Yeah.
right back. I need a drink and I need to take the meds.
Okay, love. Yeah. The government model, Shar says, since I can't share anything at the moment, I don't think I can. Nope, I can't. The government model, Shar says, is often, in my experience, a struggle between needs from the social model being distributed based on the medical model, which leaves a lot of people falling through the cracks. Agreed. I agree with that on a lot of things. The government model versus the medical model of anything, like you were saying, it's just, or not the government, the social, and the medical models are the delineating and dividing factors in every aspect of life. I feel like, minus specifically economic or stuff like that. I'm talking about care, no matter what industry, like medical care related stuff, which can be economic and can be a whole bunch of other stuff. But trying to get the disability for those purposes and the defining things between them is just good story. I'm not a interesting story. It wasn't a good time of my life. So when I was 18, I was, freshly married, freshly out on my own, doing the grown up thing. I was getting ready to start my actual first full time job kind of a thing. That had benefits and everything that came with it. But I went to get just routine annual. I went to Planned Parenthood, just got a routine annual just to get checked up, make sure everything was good. I was just recently married. I thought it was a good idea. And then we found out I had we had precancerous abnormalities and they were aggressive. And so I had no health insurance, nothing nothing, no money. I didn't even have a full-time job yet. And then I had to have all this care because we had to have them removed. I had to have, of course, there was some therapy going on there with the whole possible, reproductive cancer at 18 years old. That's just a real big, to anyone. I don't care who you are. But yeah, and there was just the trauma. And then, of course, there was the added trauma of trying to walk through Planned Parenthood's doors for any reason in this country. Which is why, and this story is why I turned around and went on to become a safety escort at Planned Parenthood clinics for patients going in and out and keeping crazies away from them and letting them go about their business because they didn't need to be harassed for going for medical care. I don't care what anybody's stance is. You don't need to know why a person is somewhere for medical care because we have HIPAA in this country and they don't deserve to be harassed for it. So you got an issue with medical care, take it up in the courts, take it up in the government. Don't take it up on sidewalks in front of where you just are just really there just trying to piss people off anyway. And make, do something. Because that's all of them were there for. Trust me. Had to have plenty of not conversations and some conversations with them. But anyway, back to my story. Ended up back to my other story, rather. I ended up needing to get food stamps because I had all these medical bills I was paying out of pocket. I mean, we had to have everything removed. I had to have post care for 5 years. I had to have a stupid PAT for every 3 months for 2 years, and then I had to have one every 6 months for a year after that. And then for the remaining time, I had to basically was on a possibility of oh, hey, if you happen to get knocked up at any point in time, your body could just totally just, immediately abort it because of everything we had to do in there. Like, your body's just screwed up, so don't. And I was like, great. So I had to do all this stuff, and I was paying all this stuff out of pocket. I couldn't. So, I couldn't afford groceries and stuff. So I went to get food stamps. I was like, we'll get a little assistance for a little while, and then no big deal. I'm working now. It's fine. We're past the big part of this, and then that way I can pay my payment plans. And when said and done, my spouse and I made $76 a month. Too much for food stamps. And I was like, she's like, I'm so sorry, but you make too much. You make $76 a month too much. I said, can you just eat just you on $76 a month and it actually be worthy food? Like, and you not be malnourished? I was like, how do you expect two grown adults working multiple jobs, might I add?
Hamburger helper, man.
I know. Oh yeah, we ate a ton of that. And that and the banquet family-sized turkey, sliced turkey, and just some white bread. That
Poor
shit,
man Donbury.
Oh.
Poor man Donbury were those patties.
Yeah, it's just like
put on some white sticky rice, sprinkle some furikake on it.
What we
maybe
used to
some
do,
tonkatsu sauce, and voila.
we used to make like
If you want to get
open
real fancy, just crack an egg on it and cook it while it's still piping hot.
Yours was a little fancier than mine. Mine was we would take some we'd basically make a turkey Manhattan, like an open-faced turkey Manhattan. So it'd be
I don't know what that means.
Oh, so an open-faced sandwich is where you
I know what an open-faced sandwich is, but the other
turkey
part.
Manhattan?
Yeah, turkey Manhattan. I don't know what that is.
So turkey Manhattan essentially consists of a really fancy type of bread, like kind of like a bread bowl almost, or a slab of like really fancy artisanal type bread. Then like some type of fancy whipped up mashed potatoes, basically, and then basically the banquet turkey, family-sized turkey meal, just like slopped over the top of it. And it's really good. It's supposed to be all like high-end stuff, but you can make it super cheap with just like standard white bread, some box flake potatoes, and a banquet dinner. And so we used to make that.
I was so happy when I could afford Sapporo Ichiban ramen, which is like $1.50 for a package.
My wife really loves them. I mean, I like them too, but she goes nuts over them.
Yeah, I just got a wake up call because I used to eat my noodles al dente, and then I followed the directions on the package because I was stoned one day.
That's when we
and I was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to cook these for 3 minutes? I have never cooked them longer than like 30 seconds. And
you were really going al dente.
I was going really al dente. So I finally had it at 3 minutes and it was amazing.
Cooked all the way through, they're like the best.
So good.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them crunchy too, but yeah. Oh, all my friends like potatoes, poverty food, potatoes. Oh, that's just Eva. Okay. Yeah. So a fun story. When my wife and I moved to Phoenix together, we moved on an extremely tight budget. And we ended up having to use a big chunk of our budget we broke down just in Roswell, New Mexico, by the way. Just as we saw the Roswell, New Mexico sign, all the lights in my car flickered and my car died and we coasted off the side of the road. That was a horrifying moment, thinking that we were suddenly going to be abducted by aliens in Roswell, New Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, fun story. It was middle of the night too. And anyway, what ended up happening was we had a bad alternator and had to have an alternator replaced. But the problem it was Labor Day weekend, I think. Yeah, like first weekend of September, Labor Day weekend. And everything was closed. So we had to go to the only thing that was available. It like middle of the day, it was blazing hot. we had nowhere to go when my wife took the car and got it fixed, and I stayed with our two dogs, which one is the German Shepherd that you all know. And then at that time, I had my elderly little dog that was like a Pomeranian Dachshund mix, and she was just older, and we just had to like walk down like forever to a park and sit in the extremely hot day, like find a patch of shade, and I just kept giving the dogs just all the water that we had, which was like gallons. Um, and basically, the guy charged us like $800 for what should have been an alternator change that would have been normally or like around like 350, 400. But because it was a holiday, holiday weekend, he could charge extra, and we were like screwed without it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it took a huge amount of like chunk out of our really tight budget when we moved. So we ended up having to like live off of, it was basically Polish sausage and an onion and potatoes. And it was potatoes made however I could make them. Like, and I'm good at making potatoes because I grew up again really poor.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, I think it was about almost 2 months of her and I working just to be able to buy any amount of groceries outside of the very, very basic necessities and taking care of the animals.
So I'm just here like, thanks, I guess I'll suffer then, cool, and my petty revenge is just slowly making sarcastic satirical art about it while on unemployment till I can figure out what to do.
Yeah, that sounds real familiar. I mean, the sarcastic satirical art would have just been the sarcastic satirical writing at that point because nobody wants to buy my art. Like, oh no, I take that back. I did sell a picture. We had a community yard sale at the beginning of the month. And where the whole neighborhood. Yeah, and somebody bought one because I just don't have enough room for all the ones that I've just practiced on, and like some of them I paint over, but again, I still don't have enough room in the smaller house since we downsized a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And like I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put them out there. These are ones that whatever I've painted over them so many times that I'd have too much texture. Like colors would start bleeding through at this point. It's gonna be like Cadillac Ranch in Texas, where the spray paint on the Cadillacs has like started to crumble off because there are so many layers of it. But yeah, like so I was like, okay, I can't, And somebody actually bought one, and she was super nice because it was like one of my. It was their first one where I was just playing around with mixed medium. And like she was super nice about it, and I hadn't signed it or done anything like that. It was just a painting. And she's like, "Oh no, I have to have it signed by the artist." Never know. I was like, "I guess you're true. I guess that's true. Never know." I said, "Could we kind of know? Could we know sometime before I die? That would be great. Like, if my stuff signed could be worth some stuff sometime before I die. That'd be fantastic."
I think on my server, you guys were going back and forth about baseball.
Oh yeah, we were for a bit. Well, we got into that whole weird ass looking photo that he put up there that had like the creepy pedophile looking dude staring down from a school, like painted on the side, staring down from a school onto like the sports, like where they would play sports and whatever they would want to play out there, soccer, football, whatever. Anyway, and I know it was probably some type of stupid saint or something, some type of like friar that was like whatever. The school's probably named after him, but it looked super creepy. It was like super pedo, and I was like, whew. So we were like, no, that would not motivate us at all. So then it was said, if you're going to paint anything up there, why not? If you want to just make it motivational, at least. And then of course we got on to Dick Kiss, the famous football coach who was notoriously angry all the time. And we were passing that back and forth. And I was talking about how I really don't know anything about football and can't say anything because I don't watch it, but I watch baseball. And then, we got going back and forth on all the fun stuff about baseball because Chicago was brought up, and there's a lot of fun things you can say about baseball in Chicago.
Yeah. My mother made homemade soups a lot. We ate 3 kids.
Yeah. I say, yeah, my mom, she.
I think that sentence needed to be kind of
Yeah, it would have been 3 kids. We ate. As 3 kids,
as 3
we
kids.
ate chicken noodle
We
soup
ate
all from
chicken
scratch.
soup all from scratch so many times, but it's really my favorite comfort food. Yeah. I feel that way about curry. Japanese curry, like green box, golden box, Japanese curry. Oh,
Yeah, I think I was about I think the first time I actually got to have real Japanese food, not like what the Midwestern restaurants,
her employee.
not what Midwesterners think Japanese food should taste like. So every poor Japanese person there that owns a restaurant has to like prepare what Midwesterners want kind of a
Yeah.
thing to be successful. First time I actually had some, it blew my mind. Like, but I wasn't. I think I was like 19, but I actually got to go and have a real meal. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So it to me, it's not like nostalgic comfort food, but it is a memorable experience because I was like, oh, this is what real Japanese food tastes like, and now of course my wife and I are addicted.
I feel like
Several.
Elvira of the dog.
Got a little vibe going on there. I think you need to pull the tank down just a little bit for a little more cleavage if you're gonna go
Oh
for
yeah.
Elvira. But we
I
are
don't
3 minutes past.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We have reached 2 hours.
I'm so sorry, everybody. You've been talking, we've been chatting. I take like 12 years to answer one question, or talk about, one tiny bit of anything.
Yeah. Also the underworld. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, nice. Ha 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 ha. I grew up with 2 brothers. Okay. Now that I'm older, I realize my mom is kind of shitty at cooking. I also am shitty at cooking. I used to just think food was gross. Oh, 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 that's so sad.
It's me again. I
Welcome
don't know.
back.
Yeah, I don't know where it cut me off, but we should probably do this outro.
Okay. If you like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this one, you can usually catch us at 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
PM. 2 p.m. 2 a.m., huh? And
What? 10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, as well as 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays.
yes,
I do it in the morning and I do it in the night.
that's what she said.
You might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when we go live. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.
See ya.